Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna share with you my 2021 goals, reading goals, writing goals, and YouTube and lifestyle goals. So it feels like everyone is doing resolutions again, and even though it's already middle of February, I didn't look through my goals that I had last year, but I decided to do a new list, especially since I still did not put them in my bullet journal. And to be honest, I missed February, even though I promised to do the bullet journal for February and show you, but work stuff happened and last few weeks were so crazy, so I just had to work all the time. Yeah, but I am back to filming, back to editing, and I again have a little bit more time, so let's do the goals. Okay, so since most of my goals are reading goals, I will start with reading. So I would like to read 35 books this year. I know it's not a lot for a year, especially compared to what other booktubers are doing, like 50, 70, 100 and so. No, that's too much for me. I know I cannot read that fast. So I will challenge myself to do 35. Last year and in 2019, I challenged myself to read 30 books. And both years I managed to do that, and one or two books more. So I know I can do that. So this year I'm raising the bar slowly, so I'm saying that I will read 35 books. Yeah, we will see how it goes. Last year was very good reading wise. This year I already see it's a little bit more busy, so I don't know, we'll see. It's gonna be fun watching this in the end of the year. By the way, you can find me on Goodreads, and if you want to, you can follow my reviews. I don't do a lot, but usually when the book, when the mood strikes me. Okay, next one. Next one is maximum 2 readathons. So yeah, I love doing readathons, and they are very fun when you need to get out of a reading slump, and the mood sometimes is not right. So readathon is a good kick in the ass to get back to reading, but one thing I don't like about those is that you kind of lose this quality time with the book, because most of the readathons are done around reading as many books as you can in a set time. So I prefer the monthly ones or weekly ones where you have a little bit more time and you don't have to rush that much. So I was thinking of not doing any this year, but I thought that I might get into a reading slump and need a little, pick me up. So yeah, I leave myself this opportunity to do a readathon in case I need one. And also I love doing bullet journaling, the bullet journal spreads for readathons. Last year I did maybe 5 of those. Most of them were made by Book Roast. I really loved her magical readathon, Owls and Newts, twice a year. But I think she's not gonna do it anymore. The whole readathon was such a vibe. It was so nice, and I really enjoyed doing it. And maybe I'll just for fun remind myself what it's like, and just do the same stuff this year from all the material that she made. Next goal, I want to finish reading the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. I have this chunker of a book. I think I showed it to you before. This gorgeous leather-bound beauty. And yeah, and I started it last year, and I managed to go through all the poetry, and I stopped right at the first fiction novel, or I don't know what it is. So this is more than 1,000 pages. Last year it was also my goal to do that, and I failed it miserably, but I don't know why I'm feeling ambitious this year, and I'm feeling that I can make it. Maybe way overconfident. If you have anything like that too, maybe you want to join me on this journey, I might even try and do a vlog about it throughout the year, and maybe talk about it in the end if I manage to do that. That would be a good kick in the soft part. Okay, next goal. Another one about reading specific books. Last year I bought these two beauties. Edda by Snorri Sturluson and Poetic Edda. I already read maybe half of the Poetic Edda, and I made lots, I put lots of tags, just because I am writing about I'm writing a story that is inspired, at least the magic system is inspired heavily by Scandinavian myths, this Old Norse culture. So yeah, I have these all tags are important stuff for my story, so I somehow did not manage to read the whole thing and still start writing my book. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I'm just stupid that way, but when I saw that this is also available, I had to take it, and I'm challenging myself to read these two, because I'm gonna already do edits of my first book, and I'm still writing the second one, and I think it would be time to actually read those, so these should be a priority. One more challenge for this year that I'm gonna take is to read Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. These were released just recently, all 3 books, and I haven't read a chunker in a while. Most of my recent books were at least half in size, so I feel like I need to get back to some really nice epic fantasy. I need to move away from young adult fantasy. So I'm expecting a lot from this because I'm following Brandon Sanderson's YouTube channel, and I love his lectures on writing and stuff, so he's a nice guy who knows a lot about writing, and it's funny that I haven't even read any of his books until this day. So Mistborn is also on my priority this year. Okay, one more goal. I just came up with that just now. I haven't written it down, but I think I should read more widely this year. Try to look into different kind of genres. One genre in particular that I started reading recently is, I don't know if it's right to call it popular science. I recently started reading Stephen Hawking. It's the second book that I have of him, and that is Brief Answers to Big Questions. So, and actually it's very, very nicely written, and it flows so well, and I'm just having a blast reading it, and I didn't expect that. The first one was nice, but the second one, for me, it's even better. The first one was A Brief History of Time, I think. Yeah, so this one was released also just a year ago, I think. So I want to read more books like that. A little bit of science, maybe a biography. Some poetry is nice once in a while. I really enjoyed Edgar Allan Poe's poetry that I read last year. I actually have a whole, maybe not whole, but most of the dramas, a collection from Shakespeare, and is also his sonnets, a separate book. So maybe I will read that. So my goal next year is to read more widely, not just fantasy, even though I really enjoy fantasy and I have so many books that are still in my shelves on my TBR and I have to read them all, and there's new ones coming out every day. But we will see. I see that I find more joy when I switch things up, and especially right now I'm really enjoying this Stephen Hawking book. So moving on to writing goals. So the first goal for 2021, writing goal, is to finish the draft of my second book that I started back in November. So I started this channel with my NaNoWriMo journey last year, and in November I was writing the second book for the story that I started 2 years ago, maybe. The first book I finished last year in spring in Camp NaNoWriMo, and this year I'm doing editing and hoping to actually start sending out some chapters to publishers. So this year these two goals are going together, because second goal is of course finish editing the first story and start sending out, and maybe look for beta readers. So these two are going together, and these are my priorities in writing this year. I really hope that this fantasy story will find its place and it's gonna see the light of the day. I had so much fun writing it, but it still needs a lot of work. The second writing goal is to edit, and I think it might need a nice rewrite. I already read it twice. First when I read it, I was just looking through all the grammar mistakes, word choices and stuff. I know many people don't do that as a first thing, but it's bugging me when I'm reading to see all the mistakes, so I try to fix that. And I also left myself a lot of notes, hundreds of notes I think, what should be fixed and where. I also wrote some in a journal as well, more like notes what should be looked into, and maybe some links with other chapters that should be done here and there. And when I did the second reread of my book, I followed all the notes. I tried to fix the stuff that I wrote down. At least that part is done. So now I think it's a time to get back to it again. It's been some time, maybe 3-4 months since the last time I read it. And now I know that I have to do the big picture edit. It's gonna be a lot of work. I know that I want to fix the beginning of the story, because when I started this story it was maybe 2018 and it was nice at the time, but throughout the time my writing developed, and when I read the whole thing I noticed patterns and stuff that I should try and fix, some repetitive phrases and stuff, and also I see that right now I can express myself a little bit better in a different way. I can already show more, not tell. So I know all these mistakes that I made when I started with the story, so I really have to get back to fixing it, and maybe the first third of the book should be rewritten, I think. It's gonna be a lot of work, but that part is one of those difficult ones that you just have to go through. A third writing goal for this year is to finally do a proper outline for the high fantasy story that I was world building for years and years, and that story might never see the light of the day if I don't ever do an outline and write it properly. So that book, it was my first ever story that I dared myself to call it a book, and it grew so big, and it has lots of stuff surrounding it, and the world is very large, and you can expand the story all over the place. I made many things for that, and recently I was just looking through some of my material that I made in this last decade, I would say. It's funny saying that, but it's actually true. I set out to, just do some basic stuff maybe 10 years ago, so even more than 10 years ago. So now I know myself, I know my habits, I know my mistakes that I do, and also one of the main things, I know that I can finish a draft. Now I feel I am ready to get back to the story, because when I got the idea, I was too young, and I didn't know what I was doing. And right now I feel more confident, and right now is a good time to go back to it, because I know I will not do these mistakes that I would have done before. When I looked at my maybe first few chapters that I ever wrote, that also are not the same that I'm gonna write now. Even the some names of the characters are different, and all that developed through the years. So when I look at that, I see lots of telling and zero showing. So I was right to stop, and I think it's time for me to go back to it and finally do a proper outline. And I'm thinking I should maybe try some kind of, methods, experiments of how to do it, because it's still, out there. I have all the story here, and I would like to do 1 or 2 different methods for outlining the story. So maybe I should even do another video about it, so we will see. Also, when I went through all the stuff that I did for the story, it kinda sparked my love for the story again and made me want to go back to it. And even though this is as I call it, my lifetime project, right now I know I'm confident enough to work on it, and maybe it'll grow into something beautiful finally. Okay, now on to the YouTube and life goals. I hope it's not getting too dark, so I will try to be quick with that. So my YouTube goal would be stay consistent and build the platform. I always like to talk, as you can see. I'm talking a lot, and I'm editing a lot out. I love talking to you guys, so I will try to be more consistent this year. Last year when I started vlogging my NaNoWriMo journey, it was a little bit too much, doing twice or even 3 times a week a video, and also writing and editing everything, and also having work. That was way too much. I burned out very quickly. This year I will try to stay consistent. For now, I'm setting a goal for myself to do a video once a week. I might miss 1 or 2 in between, but life happens and you have to have these breaks. So yeah, but I already made a schedule. I have my ideas for videos written down. I just need to, sit down, talk to you guys, maybe write down, an outline of what I should talk about. Writing is much easier than talking, but yeah. So for YouTube, I don't have any more goals for now. I'm a very, very tiny YouTuber right now, but I am not a tiny person in life. So my life goal is to get back to fitness and start losing weight. I am all for body positivity. It's your choice how you want to look like, and just do whatever you want. It's your life. It's no one else's business. For me, I am a plump person. I've been like that my whole life, and I have a problematic area, my hips. I have these so-called saddlebags, and last year was very rough because 2 years before, in 2018 and 19, I actually found my favorite sports. I tried Zumba fitness for the first time, and I fell in love with it. And I was going to classes and I was losing weight, and actually I managed to lose maybe 15 kilograms. Right now I don't even know how much I weigh, but I know that once everything stopped, once the pandemic hit and all the classes went online, and I was living in a place where it was just impossible to do anything like that, to have a class online and stuff. I had to quit, and now all the gyms are closed, so you cannot go anywhere. And throughout the last year, I gained back all the weight that I lost in my 2 years before. Once in a while, I get back to this positive vibe, where I start thinking about that I want to change how I look, I want to dress nice, and I'm thinking that it's gonna be spring soon, so I think I will start doing some kind of exercise again. I tried running before, I tried spinning, it didn't really make me go back to it. Zumba fitness was something that I really liked, and I had a really nice trainer, and I hope he's doing all right. And he was having online classes, but lately I haven't seen his new choreographies. He's doing choreographies by himself. I actually already started working on this goal. I made a playlist of my favorite Zumba choreographies from my beloved trainer. I try to, push some furniture around and make way for myself, and I know some choreographies from before that were, didn't require so much space. And since I moved to this new apartment, I have so much more space for that, so I am enjoying this right now, and I started these routines again. And I also downloaded an app for some strength training, to do some exercises, so I'm feeling positive. And I don't have a set goal of how much I want to lose, how much weight, but when you look in the mirror and you feel nice, I think that is the goal. And I want to lose those saddlebags badly, because it's such a nuisance when you have to buy clothes. Wish me luck on that one. It's gonna be a difficult journey, because before that, as I said, I spent 2 years just losing this little by little. Also, I should try and fix my diet, because I know that if I don't do that, all the exercise might be going to waste, but we will see. And I think that's all. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have goals of your own. Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe we share some goals, so we can, cheer each other up. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye bye. Strikes me. Noisy neighbors. Rude. One more challenge for myself. I don't have a book here. My phone wants to get a review of something. Not now. Come on, neighbors, stop being trolls.